Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, the spiritual guide of the Malamis, who is meant to be their moral compass, is even having to balk himself at the crass stupidity of this particular regime being led by Major General Malam Buahri. So with that guys, I bring you this: disobedience of court order, recipe for lawlessness and chaos, and this is attributed to the Sultan. So that's the headline: disobedience of court order, recipe for lawlessness and chaos, and this is a comment attributed to the Sultan of Sokoto. So now let's see now what the spiritual guide of the Malamis have to say with the developments in the country. The Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Court for Islamic Affairs, Alhaji Saud Abubakar, has warned that disobedience of any court order is a recipe for lawlessness and chaos. In a veiled reference to the arrest of the Revolution Now convener Omoyele Sowore by the Department of State Services in violation of a court order, Abubakar stated that everyone must be law-abiding in the interest of national development. He gave the warning on Thursday in Abuja at the 2019 fourth quarter meeting of Nigeria Inter-Religious Council with the theme Religion and Civil Authorities in Dialogue with Nation Building. The monarch said, "We must regularly obey and respect the laws of our land. We should never disregard the laws to avoid the consequences. If a court makes a judicial pronouncement on a particular matter, it should be obeyed to the letter. If you have any problem or disagree with the pronouncement, the next step is to appeal the pronouncement instead of disregarding or violating court judgments." Speaking further, the Muslim leader noted, "If you are served a court order and you deliberately refuse to obey it because you are a governor, president, or influential person, then you are setting a dangerous precedent. There is no society that will prosper through lawlessness. Citizens must be law-abiding so that we can achieve the desired development," Abubakar said. The NSCIA President General also stressed the need for inter-religious dialogue in the country, noting that it would foster a better understanding amongst the people. He admonished the citizens to be wary of extremism and prevent extremists from causing trouble in the polity. Abubakar further emphasized the importance of education and particularly stressed the need to enroll street children in school and to combat the rising menace of drug abuse in the country. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, commended the co-chairmen and members of the NIREC for being steadfast in maintaining the peace and harmony in the country. He said the federal government recognized the efforts of NIREC in bringing the two major religions together and providing religious leaders and traditional rulers a veritable forum to promote greater interaction and understanding amongst the leaders and their followers, as well as lay foundations for sustainable peace and religious harmony in the country. The SGF stated, "The time has now come for governments at all levels to sit down and discuss the issues of religious tolerance and peaceful coexistence with our religious and traditional rulers, because the success or failure of security administration in the country depends largely on both institutions. You, therefore, remain in the front line of stakeholders in the business of peace building in every community." The NIREC Executive Secretary, Professor Cornelius Omonokwa, said justice and good governance remains the most effective means of promoting peace, harmony, mutual coexistence, and development. So now, there you have it now. The one de la one, the icon of the Malami setup, because of course the Malami system bases their structures on religion and tribe. So the person now that signifies and embodies and stands as the marquee for all that is now balking now at the crass stupidity and the brutality and lack of intellect now that is being displayed by these people, going into a courtroom, cocking guns, wrestling people to the ground, putting them in chokeholds to the point that the judge had to bail out and run into her chambers for fear for her life, almost certainly, because of course the judge has never seen a situation where gun wielding people will come into our court. She has dominion over that space. That has always been the structure in all of the 60 odd years that that country has existed up until this dispensation, of course. But then the writing was on the wall when they rolled out all these things to the Senate to go and lock down the Senate with DSS operatives. So already you know where these people are heading, and their agenda, by the way, is known only to them, and it's been slowly unfurled. So we've seen all these things that they are doing without them taxing Christian weddings and all whatnot. You can't speak anymore, but otherwise they will hang you or behead you and describe it as hate speech, and calling for good governance now is treasonable felony and all whatnot. So all of this now is not getting a little bit too much for their own moral compass, because of course the moral compass and the moral guidance of that particular religion within the Nigerian space is of course the Sultan of Sokoto. The Sultan of Sokoto is the icon, is the marquee, and is the lead person of that religion within the Nigerian space. He tells them when the moon is aligned for them to start fasting. He tells them when the moon is aligned to tell them when to stop fasting. He tells them what the morality is in terms of their religion. He has oversight and final say in terms of pronouncements, at least within the Nigerian space, with regards to their religion. And the religion, of course, is what the bulk of the Malamis, especially the Fulanis, the tribesmen of Malam Buahri, Major General Buahri, the tribesmen of Major General Buahri, Malam Buahri, are of that religion. And the moral compass of that religion is now this guy now that is now speaking to this particular thing and saying that, look, if you are saying that you are disregarding the rule of law because you hold all the guns now and you're feeling all powerful, if you now do not now have the law being sacrosanct within the Nigerian space, and people of that space do not now have the sense that they have recourse to law, then it's really now another step towards a state of nature. Because if you cannot go to law to have redress, and you then understand now from the signals and the body language of the people who have rulership, because of course Nigeria does not have a government, we're being ruled and being dominated, especially we in the southern regions, of course. So if you now do not have recourse to law, and the laws pronouncements of the courts can be either disregarded or obeyed depending on the whims and caprices of whoever feels that he's powerful enough to do that, then of course then you then have the understanding then that it is a might is right sort of system that we're running within the Nigerian space. So now if you then have the understanding that it is a might is right system in the Nigerian space, then you can completely disregard the law and make yourself as powerful as you can, so that you can then subjugate the people that you can't subjugate and take what is theirs to become yours. Because this is of course the system now that Malam Buahri is fleshing out within the space now. Because if the law says release this guy, and you are saying, oh, I am stubborn, I am Fulani, and I only operate under Jamjawid laws, and these laws of the Queen of England and the Constitution of Nigeria is nonsense to me, because I only follow the Saudi way and whatever. So if you are following that, then of course if the people are now clear in their mind that it's a lawless society, then lawlessness can take firm hold. And if lawlessness takes firm hold within the Nigerian space, it'll be interesting how Malam Buahri is able to contain it, because I do not think we even have the troops to contain a completely lawless 200 million people, there's either going to be like a genocidal situation or something will have to give. So the only thing that should give, of course, is for the people and the space to submit itself to the rule of law. But then the rule of law, of course, has been completely discounted now by these people, to the point now that their moral compass, the Sultan of Sokoto, is now having to come into the public space. And this is a guy that doesn't really speak much. The only time you hear this guy speak is really when he feels that the interest of his religion is being trampled upon. But he is now speaking to national issues now, and is now going against the people that you will hitherto think that are his own people and the people that he favors and wants. Because who does the Sultan of Sokoto want? He wants a northerner like himself, a Fulani man like himself. He has that in Buhari. He wants a man of his own religion like himself. He has that in Buhari. So if this guy now, having now had all he wants to be in rulership of the Nigerian space, is now finding the need now to say, look, this is now going too far now, and we are creating a lawless society, then that is really cause to pause and rethink. Conversations in the comment section. Does Malam Buhari and the cabal have the capacity to pause and rethink, or are they just so drunk on this power now that they think they control the guns and they can just continue with these Yamutu ways? This is really where the conversation is now. So come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me what you are making of this position that the Sultan of Sokoto has taken so publicly in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, join you in the comment section, but here I say peace.